from the Cheese and Grain down in Somerset, Rob Dahl. By the way, guests, do help yourself to microphones if you want to chip in at any point. I love the fact that Jeff's gone right down the end. What have I done?
Well, it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it? So you might be scared. How hard was it last night?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Is that right? 12 or 13? You were really
12,
young.
Yeah.
12 when you put on your first gig. Can you tell us what that was?
I just didn't have any musical talent. All my friends were in bands, and I was just like, I want to be cool as well. And the only way that I could do it is just like, well, if I can't be in a band, I can put the bands on. And my parents regretted that straight away because they were like, oh, so we're going to have to pay for this? And I was like, probably, but kids like me, Mum.
And did you do this, all the way through school?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the school kind of loved it because they were like, oh, we've got the student who's just like, they can do kind of, not the poster boy, but they were like, oh, yeah, you're putting on all the bands. It's like, we definitely helped, and they definitely didn't. It was just like, you can't put posters up in a school, but yeah, when it was press release time, it's just like, yeah, let's get photos with you. But no, it was really fun, and it's, when you're that inexperienced, you can get away with murder, because it's just like, well, I'm just a stupid kid, and I'm still probably just a stupid kid, but I don't have the excuse anymore, so I was much better at my job back then, probably.
So did you always know what you were going to do then? It was always going to be live music?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I always wanted. I mean, I've started promoting the venue I'm at now, so I've had the same job for 18 years, which is depressing in some ways and amazing in other ways. But yeah, I kind of like the job that I've got now, the program manager at the Cheese and Grain, is the job that I kind of always wanted, which probably sounds depressing to everyone else because want to be an astronaut or something cool, but it's just like that's the job that I always had in mind.
How, when you were younger, how did you convince people to work with you? Did bands literally turn up and go, where's the promoter? He's the one in short trousers over there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
But when you're sending emails, because I was started promoting just as email was coming mainly a thing on the internet, so you can't really. I've always been okay at English. My speaking today will not represent that, but. Yeah, you kind of can't really tell the tone, and so, sometimes you've got responses going, "What, you're the promoter?" And it was hilarious. But bands were very supportive once they kind of got on board on that, and so were agents to a certain degree, because they I think they wanted to cultivate that. So I think it's great to get in promoters that young. I think it actually needs more of that, because people working young in the industry is where the new people can come from.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it's the way forward, I think.
Tell us a bit about the Cheese and Grain. I've never been to the Cheese and Grain, so you're going to have to tell us a little bit about it.
We're an 850 standing capacity venue, 500 seated in the town of Frome, which I'm sure you all know, because compared to everywhere else, it's the heartland of music. We're about 10 miles away from the Glastonbury site, which is the only way anyone in the music industry knows where we are, I should say. So kind of near Bath, kind of near Glastonbury, and yeah, we've been going 20 years now. And we've got some good bands. You should come down, Steve.
What sort of things do you specialise in then? Do you find, what sort of things attract the local audience?
Well, everything. I mean, the classic stories. We had the Foo Fighters one night, and then we had the potato and seed swap show the next day. So we do everything.
Foo Fighters as a Glastonbury warm-up, I suppose, was it?
Yeah, they did their announcement, and it was viewed by 22 million people, which is online, which is amazing for us. Yeah. But now it's kind of the struggle of, oh, you're the Foo Fighters venue, and it's like, well, we've been going, 18, 19 years before they showed up, so it's great that they came. And I tell everyone, the drunker I get telling the Foo Fighters story has become, me and Dave Grohl are now best friends. Where I don't think I even met him on the day, but it's you've got to exaggerate these stories.
Do you? And I suppose there's a question to everyone up here. Do you feel, working with a little community around you, do you feel a responsibility for your audience? Do you think, I wonder what, I want to do the best I can for them. I want to put something on that they like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when it's such a kind of tight-knit community, it's a very small town, everyone knows who you are, you can't go to the pub without, oh, my kid's in a band, or my brother's in a band, or I once saw this band, why aren't you booking them? And, there is a responsibility to, book kind of what people like, especially locally. I think, a lot of local people kind of feel that they own the venue, which is great in some respects, but in other respects it makes life very, very difficult, because everything you put is kind of under a microscope, and you know everyone, and everyone knows where to find you. But it's good that people care that much. So, I shouldn't say that it's a bad thing, but it can be frustrating at times, because, people don't necessarily see the overlining picture. They just see what you're doing at one stage, and, why are you booking that band? And it's great and it's frustrating and it's lovely, but that's running venue. You know, that's going to be the answer to everything for running venues. It's great, it's frustrating, it's, you know, but that's why we do it.
Yeah. Do they come and request bands? I always wondered this, whether people walk into a venue and say, "Can you put so and so on?"
Oh, all the time. And the problem is, once you've put on the Foo Fighters, you can't announce it. You know, you do an announcement saying, "We've got a show coming up soon. We're going to announce it on Monday." It's like, it's Foo Fighters, isn't it? It's because Dave Grohl on stage said, "Oh, I'll come back to Froome." I was like, "No, Dave, you won't. You won't." And now every time it's just like, "Oh, we're going to announce a show," and it's something completely. It's the Wurzels, your favourite band, as we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, the Wurzels announcement seems less exciting because you can't always have the Foo Fighters, sadly, apparently.
What are your main frustrations in the job?
Well, apart from
not in life, obviously. I don't know.
Too long. Apart from my assistant Lucas always being late wherever I'm not even sure he's made it here yet.
He hasn't turned up. Yeah,
no,
there you go.
Definitely hasn't brought me the pint I requested yet. Anyway, but no, I think it's trying to sell people on the idea of Froome, because Froome has got lots of little towns near it that don't have venues. It's got kind of the catchment area of a city without the other distractions of a city, but being close to Bath, being close to Bristol, trying to sell people on that we're as good as Bath or as good as Bristol, because a lot of bands, promoters, agents would rather have Bristol on the poster rather than Froome, because it seems backwards to have us on the thing, even if we'll sell more tickets and with a bigger venue, which can be frustrating. I totally understand why they do it, but at the same time, it's just like, but we're not the better venue, but for certain shows, we are the better venue.
That's Rob Dahl, ladies and gentlemen.